Okay, we're not going to embarrass anyone with a microphone this week. What scenarios does ego kick in? Did anyone come out with something very creative?
Well, we thought that whenever you do something well and you earn something and you've worked hard for it, and then you think, oh, I did that, that was all me, and you don't realise that Waheguru made that happen. But when something bad happens, you always blame it on something else or somebody else. And
so when something good happens, we say I did it. When it's bad, then we say either God did it, or blame God, or some other person. It was because of them. Yeah, very good. Anyone else? You could just put your hand up. I'll just repeat it here. You got your group here?
We had one where it can be ended like it can kind of come in every possible scenario you can think of, but I think we brought it down to because we got to a lot of Kirtan program and we're mixing with a lot of things. Sometimes it can happen between sings, and sometimes you can things may not always seem like what they are from the outside, and you don't know what somebody's thinking, and somebody could say something like saying, it's like we were talking about this, so somebody could praise how much Simran they do or compare how much Simran they do, and without realising they're actually losing that jivan that they were trying to build up in the first place. And that's just trying to get closer to God they're talking about, and yet they're pulling themselves back at the same time.
So spiritual comparison.
Yeah.
When we're doing something spirituality wise, even there you can easily do comparison to my Simran is longer than theirs. Even those things, all of those things, that absolutely. That's what Guru said, anak tapasya kare ahankar, wahi gal ho gayi if tapasya karte hain and ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ahankar aa gaya. Even though that might be the tapasya of sitting in a cave for three years or something, but still, in terms of what are they trying to do, they're still trying to do that same thing that we're talking about. Is there anything else? Anyone? Anji?
Saying when you receive praise or if you're proud about something, and it's about realising you need to be praised about that thing, or should you be so proud about it?
Yeah. So if someone says something good about you, then automatically we go into that mode where we say, look at that, it's even got noticed. Anji, anyone else over here? Remember, this isn't to embarrass anyone, it's more, if you said something and some other group might benefit from it, that's the only reason why I ask questions like that. So I'm not going to go group to group.
We as a group discussed, when you promote it, your ego kicks in that you're better than people around you.
So if you promote it, it's self-promotion,
or promoted by somebody.
If someone says something good about you, yeah. Is there anyone else? In terms of what can you do to counter it? What did we come up with in that?
if you can acknowledge the fact that everything happens under Waheguru's will, then you'll think that Waheguru did that, I didn't do that, and he meant that to happen.
Yeah, so if we say Waheguru's done it, then automatically something should stop, right? Very good. Anji, anyone else? There must be something else that we said that would counter it, huh? These groups over here? Anji. Be aware of your actions. Yeah.
So there's a couple of things like because this scenario is all around you in everyday life. This simple thing like you could say to your partner, "Oh, wake up before you today, I have time for something." You get to anything. So like one thing would be like to think before you speak, and then also being humble yourself as well.
No, very good. So it's to actually think before you say anything. And also humility, having a low opinion of yourself isn't probably the right terminology, but it's to say not allow yourself to get into a state where you think I'm the best, I'm better. Anyone else? Hanji, Prem, think.
Stay calm and jump now.
Stay calm and jump now. Anyone else? Those groups over there?
Not get overexcited when someone praises you.
Yeah, so when the praise happens is to, if someone, this is it's an oki cheez to do, and I did it, if someone's, have you ever thought of this? When someone says something good about you, have you ever transformed it into a swear? Think about it next time. And transform it, say, if that person said a gal about me, how would I act? And then it puts you back in the middle. Right? So another way of thinking about it is, if someone says something good about you, say, remember when we talked about the same thing that makes you happy can make you sad? If you apply that to people, that if someone says something to you and they say, wow, you look absolutely amazing today, or what a great thing you just did there, just think of it as they're saying the opposite thing about you, saying that's absolutely, you look terrible today, or that was absolutely terrible thing that you did, and then to balance yourself out from that. Is there anything else? So always say that it's a blessing from the Guru that made that happen. Guru di Kirpa. If we always think like that, then that can deter that ego from coming in. Remember, it's a very, very bad mari cheez hai, ego, that I think isn't even spoken about enough, about how bad that thing is. From that thing, all the calamities in the dunya is all from that one thing. Now, here's something that anyone who's married, right? Anyone who's married, and everyone's going to get married, and then the young children might not understand this topic that easily. But transactional analysis is something this guy called Dr. Eric Byrne, he did it in the 1950s. Now, just want everyone to try and understand this if you can. What he's saying, remember, Sikhi has got another angle on this, and I'll try and define that later. What he's saying is that in your egos, your ego's got three states. He's saying it's got a parental state, it's got an adult state, and it's got a child state. And our interaction is always, whenever we're interacting in that ego thing, it switches between those three states. Now, someone described this to us once where we've been training once, and I found it quite interesting, quite fascinating. What happens is, you're trying to aim for this. You're trying to aim, when we're talking to each other, when you're interacting with each other, and particularly I'm saying married couples, and even, let's just think of it in your family environment, because that's where it's absolutely, some of those environments are getting very, very, they're unbelievably bad. You're supposed to be, when we're interacting with each other, even in Sangat, if we say pra, pen, whatever, Sangat di roop which, we're supposed to talk to each other in a certain way and interact with each other. Now that adult to adult kandya, that means it's respectful. You respectfully say to someone, Hanji, it's based on facts and not emotional. So we don't need to be getting really emotional. It should be very simple, our interaction. And it's same with married couples. Your interaction day to day should be very simple. It should be very easy. What happens is, parent to child. So one person goes into parent state, now we have to understand this very, very clearly and carefully. This happens everywhere. And this person, he's gone so far that he's saying that even world wars start because of this thing. One country goes, I want to be parent state, we'll do a child state, that's why. Now where the issue happens is, if I say to you, or someone says to you, why are you doing it like that for? And the other person turns around in a child state and just says, oh, I shouldn't have done it like that, maybe I should have done something else, then it's fine, not the conflict. But that's not acceptable, because remember what I was saying, adult to adult, we're not supposed to be talking like that to each other. We're not supposed to be interacting like that. What we're supposed to be saying is, we need to talk about this and maybe do it better next time. That's an adult way of talking about it. The other one is, why have you done it like that? That's making the person into a child. Now, it gets complicated, and I'm not going to go into complexities of it, because it gets quite... So, from a parent point of view, you could talk down to someone in a critical way, Or you could talk to them in a nurturing way and say, you know what, you need to do this and then you'll be fine and all that. That's still parent to child. And then there's this child thing acting 3 different ways. They can either be free in a free-willed kind of way where they're still acting like a child, but they're kind of like just saying, right, okay, that's what they've just said is fine, and they just carry on. But they're still like saying, well, yeah, I've got a parental relationship here. Or they're adaptive. So if you say, why are you doing it like that? If I do it like this, the person says, no, okay, I won't do it like that again. I won't do it like that. That's kind of adaptive, you're just saying. A rebellious is where you say, if I say to you, why are you doing it like that? You'll say, why do you always picking on me for? You're still acting like a child. Now, I'm really trying to simplify this as much as I can. But if you look at it from this point of view, I'm going to just take you through some examples of how you might go into your ego state, might go into parental. You'll say, have you done it yet? I'm talking to people like that. Now, I want you to think about it when people talk to their partners, when they talk to, we're talking to each other, how bad it is. I can't ever trust you to do this. That's another way. You're useless at this. Nikamma husband, or useless wife. Right. So now, adult, that would be talk. That conversation would be somewhere along the lines of, okay, someone says to do, have you done this yet? You might ask it, and you say, I'm just about to do it. That's an adult-to-adult relationship. It's not like nothing. Have you been able to ask someone? Have you been able to do this yet? It says, have you done it yet? There's two ways of saying things. Have you been able to do this yet? And then, shall we do this? That's an adult-to-adult relationship. Remember, this is at work, this is at home, this is at everywhere. This might even be to Guruji in your ardas. From a child point of view, someone says to you, "Tusi kita nahi hale? Roti nahi bani meri hale?" And the other person says, "Stop hassling me. Stop hassling me." They're still acting like a nyana. They're saying, "Stop hassling me." They're not saying, why are we speaking like that to each other for? The other way is, I'm always letting you down and I'm roti di late banati. Every day I'm late hundi hai, bahut madi hai. Right? That's another childish behavior. Another one is, I use that roti example, it's quite a good one, right? But we say your roti is not bani nahi hale, and she says, why do you always do this to me? Why do you always treat me like that for? I'm not good at this. You notice I'm good at this, right? And then another way is, you might say, I'm not quite sure why I wrote that one. Forget this, but you get the idea. And that parent to child, from these things, if the problem comes here, if that person talks from parent to child and the other one talks back as a child, there still could be issues there, but they've kind of just accepted that. And that might happen at work. It might be a manager or some boss at the top might say to you, why isn't that done yet? And you're getting paid to do that job, and you respond back to say, you know what, we've done really bad here, and you'll apologize to them. That's an acceptable time for that to happen. Another time is, the Guru tells us, you might be your peshi, you have to be a child. That's parent to child. It's acceptable to be parent to child there, but proper, not a rebellious child. It's one adapting to it. Generally, so this is where the problem happens. Parent to child goes to here, says, okay, why haven't you done that kam yet? Or or something like that, whatever it is. And the other person says, who are you to talk to me like that? Why don't you do it yourself? Oh no, that what happened here. Or parent to child, we'll get that one with parent to child as well. You never do it yourself anyway, why don't you do it? Then you get conflicts, so lines are crossed. Problem is in our sometimes the line doesn't even cross, and it's still not a good relationship. But that transaction has, and if anyone's interested, I advise you to read about it. It's a very good thing to understand. But it's another dimension on the ego thing we were talking about. We said you got something, and you start comparing yourself to something. So if we said I got 20,000, and I start respecting someone who's got 40,000, what's happening there, do you think, yeah, from that relationship? Someone just said it.
Child to parent.
Yeah, so you've gone a child. You said, okay, that person's better than me. You become a child and made them your parent. If you said, I got 20,000, they got 10,000, they're absolutely nothing, in Nini Jadwale, they're nothing compared to me. What have you done there? You've gone parent to child. No? So look at that, this is even maps onto the other thing that we were drawing out. But ego states here, they map onto that. And this guy, I agree with that even wars start because of that, divorces are because of that, and all the enmity about hating people, it's all because of that. Even our problem with seva in the Gurdwara, when we start fighting over it, it's karkaiya. One person saying, I'm in charge, the other saying, no, you're not. And then you're having arguments everywhere because of these things. If you understand that, what my general simple point about this is this. We shouldn't be, especially at our homes, I'm saying, when we talk about Sikhi and people in their families and all these bad problems that are happening, no one's trying to balance those relationships to make them adult to adult. What we're doing is switching to something else. And even parents, when we become older, all of a sudden, as parent as well. The point is, and there's children here, you understand me now, when you talk to your mum and dad and say, what are you talking, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what you've just done there? You said, you become a parent, you made a parent banata. And that's the concept that Guruji is saying. When Bhai Gurdashi talks about Mapyo Parhar, he goes, Mapyo Parhar tu tirate ishnan karla is worthless. Mapyo Parhar tu koi char ved padla. Doesn't matter what you do, because you could do what you want. He goes, if you've not respected your parents, you can never respect the Guru. That's what the concept of Sikhi is. Now, that's exactly, its reason is because the ego must have kicked in due to your disrespect. It must have. We have to accept that galana. Our ego must have come in, and if it's doing that to your parents, Guruji is saying to the Guru nu bhi kar dena, you will do it to the Guru. You will definitely do it to the Guru one day. That's why the Guru is saying to you, if you can't get these relationships teak, you're never going to be able to get the Guru's relationship teak. As soon as he says, Dukh de do na thoda jiha test karo, he will be saying, why did the Guru do this to me for? I'm going to find another religion, you know? Now I want you to go back to the groups, and this is important it's an important thing for you to discuss. I don't want to spend loads of time, so I'll give you 10 minutes. But do you switch between ego states? What type of people make you switch? And how can things go wrong in a marriage or a friendship if you're younger than that? If an adult-to-adult relationship is not adopted, in other words, that self-respect. What can happen in a marriage? You think about it yourself, you know? So I'm going to give you 10 minutes. Please, in your group, if you said something that's really useful that other people will find useful, please put your hand up and say it. Don't be shy. And afterwards, so 10 minutes.